All right, so welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle a topic that I know a lot of you have been asking about: artificial intelligence.
It's everywhere, right?
It is, but what is it really?
Mm.
Beyond all the hype. So that's what we're going to do today. A real deep dive
Love it.
to cut through all that noise. And lucky for us, we've got a great starting point. We're going right to the source, Wikipedia's artificial intelligence article. And it's fresh. Updated just a couple days ago, December 12th, 2024.
Super recent. That's key, right? AI moves so fast.
Yeah, exactly. So think of this like your AI cheat sheet. By the time we're done, you'll be able to drop some serious knowledge bombs at your next holiday party.
Or, just understand what everyone's actually talking about.
Exactly. So first things first, what exactly is artificial intelligence? It's more than just robots, right?
Oh, way more. Yeah. It's not just the robots you see in movies. It's really about machines, especially computers, but showing intelligence.
It's intelligence, okay.
Yeah. Like making decisions and taking actions, but based on what's happening around them. Not just following like a set of pre-programmed rules.
So it's not just about lines of code. It's about systems that can actually learn and adapt.
Precisely. Think of it like this. Traditional computer programs, it's like following a recipe. You do exactly what's written, step by step. But AI, it's like giving the computer the whole cookbook and letting it experiment.
Interesting.
Yeah, it gets to try different ingredients, different techniques.
So that's what we mean by AI learning. It's finding its own way.
Exactly. It's figuring out solutions, not just blindly following orders, basically.
Yeah, okay. So AI's been around for a while, right? Wasn't it invented back when people were watching black and white TV?
You're not far off, actually. The field, officially, it was born in 1956. The same year, the first hard drive, spun to life.
Wow. So that's going way back. But I've also heard about these AI winters, times when everyone kind of lost interest and funding dried up. What happened there?
Yeah, good point. AI, it's had its ups and downs for sure. Those winters, they happened when the hype, it just got way ahead of reality. People, they expected like flying cars, robot butlers, but the technology, it just wasn't there yet.
It's like they promised us the moon, but all we got was a slightly smarter calculator?
Kind of, yeah.
So what changed? Why are we in this AI frenzy now? What tipped the scales?
Well, things really started heating up after 2012 with this thing called deep learning. Basically, a way to let AI learn, but from massive amounts of data. And then in 2017, another boost, new AI architecture came along, transformers.
Transformers. Okay, so not the robots in disguise. Got it.
Not this time.
But these transformers are what, really changed the game.
You got it. They're incredibly powerful, and they've led to huge leaps in natural language processing, image recognition, so much more, giving AI that turbo boost we were talking about.
So it's not just about AI being smart now. It's it's got the horsepower to actually use that smarts.
Exactly. It can process information, make connections at a speed we've never seen before.
Okay, that makes sense. It explains all the buzz, at least. But let's get down to brass tacks. What can AI actually do right now, in the real world? I know one area is healthcare. There was AlphaFold 2, right? Predicting protein structures, super fast.
Oh, yeah. Instead of months, hours, totally revolutionized drug discovery. Imagine, a cure for Alzheimer's, but 10 times faster.
That's huge.
That's the potential we're talking about.
It's like AI is giving researchers a superpower or something.
It's definitely a game changer.
It is. But, the article also mentions AI popping up in some unexpected places, like the bedroom.
That's right. Yeah. AI's, it's getting personal. AI-powered fertility trackers. AI-integrated sex toys. Even AI generating, get this, sexual education content.
Wow, okay. Definitely pushing some boundaries there.
Making us rethink things for sure, the whole relationship between tech and intimacy.
Yeah, that's a whole other deep dive maybe for another time. But for now, let's stick to something a bit less personal. How about games? Because AI has been kicking butt in the gaming world for ages, right?
Oh, yeah, decades. Remember Deep Blue beating Kasparov at chess back in '97?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. It felt like the whole world was watching.
Major turning point, for sure. Showed that AI could, outmaneuver even the best human minds.
And it hasn't stopped there. What else has AI conquered in the gaming world?
Well, we've seen AI dominate Go, which is a game so complex people thought computers would never master it. And then there's MuZero.
MuZero, okay.
This AI, it learned to play games like chess, Go, even Atari games, without even knowing the rules.
Hold on. It learned without knowing the rules. How is that even possible?
It's wild, right? Basically, it figures out the game by playing over and over, learning from its mistakes and refining its strategy.
That's incredible. So it's like learning by doing,
Yeah.
trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. It's called reinforcement learning. It's how humans learn in a lot of ways, too.
Yeah. So AI isn't just following instructions anymore. It's actually learning and adapting like on its own.
Exactly. And it gets even crazier. Google AI, recently, they developed an AI that can learn to play these open-world video games.
Like those massive games with huge maps and tons of options.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the kicker. It learns just by watching videos of humans playing.
So it's like AI is binge watching Twitch streams and becoming a gamer.
It's wild, right? And it makes you wonder, like, what are the limits here? What else can AI learn just by observing?
That's a good question. But okay, playing games is one thing. Can AI handle something more abstract, like rigorous logical things like mathematics?
It's a great question. And it's one that's, puzzled researchers for years. AI and math, it's tricky. Traditionally, it's struggled with that logical reasoning, the proof-based approach that math requires.
Because math is all about like following the rules, the logic, not just crunching numbers.
Right. It's about understanding the underlying concepts, the relationships between ideas.
And AI has been kind of bad at that.
Historically, yeah.
Yeah.
But in recent years, there's been some incredible progress.
Really? So AI's like proving theorems now, solving complex equations. How does that even work?
Well, it's not as simple as like plugging in numbers and getting an answer. It's more about AI learning from huge amounts of mathematical data, identifying those patterns, and coming up with strategies to solve problems.
So it's like AI is becoming a math whiz by devouring every textbook it can find.
Great analogy. And it's led to these specialized AIs like Google's Alpha Tensor. It can discover brand new algorithms, even for things like matrix multiplication.
Wow, okay, I'm officially impressed. But I'm also curious, like, how do these specialized math AIs compare to, say, something like GPT, those general purpose AIs that seem to do a bit of everything?
That's a key distinction. General purpose AIs, they're like a Swiss Army knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versatile, can handle lots of different tasks, but they might not be as accurate or efficient as a specialized AI when it comes to, say, math.
So it's like you need the right tool for the job.
Exactly. And for something as complex as math, those specialized AIs, they're proving to be the sharper tools.
Makes sense. But let's shift gears a bit. The article also mentions AI making moves in finance, right? Is it time to hand our wallets over to robot investors?
Maybe not our whole wallets, but AI is definitely changing finance. We're seeing robo-advisors giving personalized investment advice, AI-powered fraud detection, sniffing out those shady transactions, risk assessment algorithms predicting market trends.
It sounds like AI is taking on Wall Street. But is this really about creating new financial tools or just automating what we already do?
It's a good question, and there's some debate. Some experts, like Nicholas Fursley, he specializes in world pensions, and he thinks AI in finance, it's more about automation and efficiency, not so much genuine financial innovation.
So making things faster, cheaper, but not necessarily new.
That's one perspective. But others argue that AI, with its ability to analyze all that data, find those hidden patterns, that's going to lead to entirely new financial tools and strategies.
It seems like AI's impact on finance is still playing out. But one thing's for sure, it's shaking things up. Now let's move to a more sensitive topic. AI in the military. This is where things get a bit more intense, right?
Yeah, for sure. The use of AI in military, well, it's raising some big ethical flags.
Yeah.
Especially with the development of autonomous weapons.
Autonomous weapons, okay.
Yeah, imagine machines deciding who to target and then engaging without any human involvement. There's a prospect that's got a lot of people worried.
It sounds like something straight out of, like, a dystopian sci-fi movie. But are we really at that point where robots are making life or death decisions on the battlefield?
The tech, it's advancing fast, and the debate about these weapons, it's heating up. The big question is, can we or should we delegate these critical decisions to machines?
That's a huge question. Like, who's responsible if an autonomous weapon makes a mistake? What about civilian casualties? Those are big, serious questions.
Absolutely. The development of these weapons, it presents a huge ethical dilemma that we, as a society, really need to grapple with. It's not just about the tech.
Right.
It's about human values, accountability, the whole nature of warfare.
Okay, let's take a deep breath for a sec. We've covered a lot of ground here, from AI's like early days to its potential impact on, well, everything: healthcare, gaming, finance, even warfare. But as amazing as all these applications are, there's a flip side to the coin.
For sure. AI's got incredible potential, but it comes with its share of risks, its challenges. And we've really only scratched the surface of those deeper ethical considerations. And there's a lot to unpack there.
Well, that sounds like a perfect segue to part 2 of our deep dive. We'll be right back after a quick break to explore the dark side of the code, as the Wikipedia article puts it.
I can't wait. It's going to get interesting.
Stay with us. Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've talked about all the amazing things AI can do, but like with any powerful tool, there's a potential for misuse, right?
Right. And the article dives right into some of the concerns, starting with, well, the sheer amount of data that AI needs. AI learns by analyzing data. But where does all that data come from? Who controls it?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like you need to feed the AI beast, right? But what if that hunger for data, it starts eating into our privacy?
It's a valid concern. We've already seen cases where companies collect like tons of data without users really knowing or consenting. Remember the whole thing with Amazon recording conversations through Alexa?
Oh, yeah. That was creepy. Made you think twice about what you said around your smart speaker.
Right. It sparked a huge debate about privacy and like where the line is when it comes to data collection in this AI age.
Yeah, because it's not just about, like, what they're collecting, it's what they're doing with it.
Exactly. And who owns it, right?
Yeah.
Are we just handing over too much power to these big tech companies?
Because they're the ones holding all the cards, basically.
Pretty much. It raises concerns about bias, lack of transparency, and, the potential for these companies to have way too much influence over our lives.
It's like we're trading convenience for control, in a way.
In a way, yeah. And then there's another big worry, the environmental impact. Did you know that training just one large language model, it can use as much energy as driving a car across the whole U.S.?
No way! I had no idea it was that energy intensive.
It's a lot. And that's just one model.
But hold on, isn't AI supposed to help us solve environmental problems?
You'd think so, right? It's ironic. AI could optimize energy grids, develop renewable energy solutions, monitor deforestation. But right now, developing and using it, it's actually contributing to the very problems it could be solving.
So it's like a race against time. Can we make AI sustainable before it's too late?
That's the challenge. The good news is there's more awareness now. Researchers are working on more energy-efficient algorithms and hardware. So there's hope.
Okay, good. Because we need all the help we can get on that front. But let's move on to something else that's been in the news a lot lately. AI and misinformation. It seems like every day there's a news story about deepfakes or AI-generated content being used to, like, manipulate people.
You're right. It's a growing problem.
Yeah.
AI-powered recommendation systems think social media, they're designed to keep us engaged. But they can also create these filter bubbles, echo chambers, where we only see information that confirms our existing beliefs.
So instead of broadening our horizons, we're getting trapped in our own little worlds.
Exactly. And that can lead to misinformation spreading like wildfire, conspiracy theories, less trust in reliable news sources. It's a mess.
It's like AI is like preying on our biases, our fears, and just amplifying them instead of like helping us challenge them.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And then you add in generative AI, which can create these incredibly realistic fakes, deep fakes.
Deepfakes are scary. Imagine seeing a video of a politician saying something outrageous and it turns out it's completely fabricated. How do we even fight that?
It's tough. One approach is to develop AI tools that can detect deepfakes, flag them. But it's an arms race. As the detection gets better, so do the fakes.
It's AI versus AI, basically.
Yeah. And it just highlights the importance of like media literacy, critical thinking.
Yeah.
We got to be more careful about what we believe, especially online.
Right. Question everything, especially when it seems really juicy or outrageous.
Exactly. Now let's talk about trust, because the article brings up a lack of transparency in AI, especially with those complex deep learning models.
Oh, yeah, the black box problem. Even the people who build these AI systems, they don't always know how they reach their decisions.
Right. So we're creating these super powerful systems, but we don't fully understand them.
That seems a little risky, don't you think? Like giving AI the keys to the car without knowing if it can even drive.
It does raise questions about accountability, control. If we don't know how AI is making decisions, how can we be sure it's not biased, unfair, or even causing harm?
That's not a comforting thought.
Not really.
Yeah.
But there are people working on this. One idea is explainable AI, systems that can give us some insight into their decision-making process.
So like showing their work, so to speak.
Exactly. Another idea is to focus on AI systems with simpler architectures, ones that are easier for us to understand and audit.
Makes sense. So it's all about making AI more accountable, transparent, so we can actually trust it,
Precisely. And that's crucial, because as AI gets more and more integrated into everything, healthcare, finance, even the justice system.
Mhm.
We have to be able to trust it.
Because the stakes are just getting higher.
They are. It's like we're entering this new era of like human-machine partnership. But we need to set clear rules, guidelines to make sure it's a partnership that works for everyone.
It can't just be a one-way street.
Exactly. And that leads us to the big question that everyone's asking. What about jobs? Are robots going to steal them all?
The age-old question.
Right. People have been worried about this since, like, the first robot rolled off the assembly line. And sure, AI is automating a lot of tasks, but it's not as simple as robots replacing humans.
So it's more nuanced than just, like, a job apocalypse.
Way more nuanced. Some experts think AI will create more jobs than it destroys, leading to economic growth. Others say, yeah, new jobs will appear, but they'll need different skills. So there's going to be some disruption, some adjustment.
It's like the Industrial Revolution all over again. New tech changes everything, except this time it's happening even faster.
That's the thing. And it shows how important education and retraining are. We got to equip people with the skills they need to thrive in this AI-powered world. We got to be ready to adapt.
So the future of work is, well, it's up in the air, but AI is definitely going to play a major role.
Absolutely. No doubt about that.
Okay, let's shift gears one last time. Let's talk about something that's both fascinating and a bit mind-boggling. The idea of superintelligence.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
AI surpassing human intellect in every way.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but also maybe a little scared. What exactly is superintelligence?
Well, it's this hypothetical scenario where AI becomes so advanced that it not only understands the world, it learns from it, can outthink us, outmaneuver us in every possible way.
So not just smarter than us, but so smart we can't even grasp how it thinks.
Exactly. It's a concept that really pushes the boundaries of our imagination. It makes us think about, like, what is intelligence, consciousness, the future of humanity?
Okay, my brain is already hurting trying to wrap itself around that. But if this superintelligence thing did happen, what would it mean for us?
That's the million-dollar question. Nobody knows for sure. Some people think it could lead to a utopia. AI solves all our problems, elevates humanity to new heights.
Like a benevolent AI overlord guiding us to a brighter future.
Maybe. But some people worry it could be an existential threat. AI sees humans as an obstacle and, well, takes steps to eliminate us.
Okay, now we've gone from interesting to terrifying. But isn't all this just speculation? Are we really even close to creating an AI that could outsmart us all?
It's true. Superintelligence is hypothetical right now. No guarantee it'll ever happen. But AI is developing so fast, it's making some experts think, hey, maybe we should prepare, just in case.
So like an insurance policy for humanity. Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. And that's the idea behind the AI alignment movement. Researchers who are focused on making sure that AI stays aligned with human values, human goals, even as it gets more intelligent.
So if we're going to create something potentially smarter than us, we better make sure it's on our team.
Exactly. And that means building in safeguards, having open and honest conversations about the ethics of all this.
Because it's not just about the code, right? It's about the values behind it, the future we're building with it.
Perfectly put. And this all leads us to another concept that's tied to the future of AI.
Transhumanism.
Transhumanism. Okay, now that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. Right. It's the idea of using technology to, like, enhance human capabilities.
Yeah.
Blurring the lines between biological and artificial intelligence. Think cyborgs, brain-computer interfaces, genetic engineering, all aimed at overcoming our human limits.
Whoa, that's some next level stuff. So we're talking about like merging with machines to become superhumans.
In a way, yeah. Transhumanists believe tech can help us conquer disease, aging, even death. It's about reaching a new level of human existence.
It's a pretty radical idea, to say the least. But is this just like a fringe group, or are there actual scientists working on this?
It's gaining traction. Researchers are making real progress in areas like brain-computer interfaces, prosthetics controlled by thought, even gene editing to boost human abilities.
So it's not just fantasy. There are real implications here.
Absolutely. But all this talk of merging with machines, it raises some big ethical and philosophical questions, like, what does it even mean to be human if we can enhance ourselves with tech?
Yeah, that's a deep one.
Right. Some people see transhumanism as the next step in evolution, a natural progression to a more advanced species. Others worry about inequality, where only the rich and powerful get access to these enhancements.
It's a fascinating debate with no easy answers. It's like we're at this crossroads. One path leads to a tech-enhanced future, the other to preserving our natural state.
Exactly. And the choices we make now, they're going to have a huge impact on the future of humanity. But one thing's for sure, the The conversation about AI and its role in our lives, it's just getting started.
Well, that's a lot to take in. We've explored the potential downsides of AI, from data privacy to the environmental costs. We even talked about superintelligence and transhumanism. It's been a wild ride.
It has. Hopefully our listeners are feeling a bit more informed about, the complexities of AI, the good and the bad.
Me too. But before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one question that's been stuck in my head. We talked earlier about AI learning to play games just by watching. If AI can learn that way, what else could it learn in the future?
That's a great question. And honestly, I don't have a definitive answer. It's something we all need to think about as we navigate this, rapidly changing world of tech.
Because if AI can learn to play games just by observing, could it learn to drive a car, write a novel, compose a symphony, just by watching us do it?
It's definitely a possibility. And it makes you think about the future of work, education, even creativity. If AI can learn by observation, what skills and knowledge will be valuable in the future?
It's exciting, but also a little unsettling. But one thing's for sure, the future of AI is wide open. And it's up to us to shape that future in a way that benefits everyone.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Woohoo! I gotta say, after that last segment, my brain is kind of fried. Superintelligence, transhumanism, it's a lot to process.
I know, right? It's like we went on a whirlwind tour of the future. Yeah. But before we get too carried away with all the what ifs, let's bring it back down to earth a bit. Let's talk solutions.
Okay, good idea. So what's being done to address, the dark side of AI? Are there any glimmers of hope out there?
Definitely. One really promising approach is this rise of open source AI. Basically, it means the code, the training data, all that stuff is made public. Anyone can access it.
So it's like democratizing AI, making it available to everyone, not just the big tech companies.
Exactly. The folks who are into open source AI, they believe that this is the way to go. More transparency, more collaboration, more innovation. And, if more people can look at the code, the data, we have a better chance of catching those biases, making sure AI benefits everyone.
Makes sense. More eyes on the prize, so to speak. But are there any downsides to, making AI so accessible?
Well, there's always the concern about misuse, right?
Yeah.
If anyone can get their hands on the blueprints for a powerful AI system, couldn't someone use it for, bad stuff?
It's like that old saying, right? Knowledge is power, but it can also be dangerous.
Right. So even in the open source AI world, we still need some guidelines, some rules of the road. We need people working together to make sure things don't get out of hand.
So responsible development, basically.
Yeah. And this all leads to the question of regulation, right? What role should governments play in all this?
Right, because AI is so powerful. How do we encourage innovation but also protect people from potential harm? It's tricky.
For sure. Different countries are trying different things. Some are taking a hands-off approach, figuring, too much regulation will stifle creativity. Others are being more proactive, setting up rules and guidelines to address those ethical concerns we've been talking about.
So it's a bit of a balancing act globally.
It is. But there's a lot of international collaboration happening, which is good. The article mentions the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence. Basically, there's a bunch of countries coming together to figure out, ethical guidelines, how to promote responsible AI development, all that.
So finding common ground, working together to make sure AI benefits everyone.
Exactly. It's a global issue, needs a global solution.
Makes sense. So after exploring all this, I have to say the future of AI, it feels exciting, but also kind of scary. Like, where do we go from here?
I know what you mean. There are a lot of unknowns. But hey, that's what makes it so interesting. I think the most important thing is to, approach AI with curiosity, responsibility, and a willingness to really talk about it openly and honestly.
I agree. We can't just sit back and let AI happen to us. We need to be a part of the conversation, asking those tough questions, making sure things are transparent, and really pushing for ethical development.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And to everyone listening, remember, you're part of this conversation too. No matter who you are, your voice matters.
Absolutely. So to our listeners, keep learning, keep asking those questions, and don't forget that question we posed earlier. If AI can learn to play games just by watching, what else could it learn in the future? It's a big one to ponder, for sure.
Yeah, food for thought. Who knows what the future holds? But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an interesting ride. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
Thanks for listening, everybody.